Hello everyone and welcome to the review of the DM95 Visitor. This low-budget quadcopter is sold under several names, and even the same producer has about 3 names. So it's DM95, it's Tomito, and it has another name. It got around 3 names, just this product, and there are a myriad of models that look the same. They all resemble a Mavic, and it has foldable arms, but that's the only resembles. I'm not going to even call it a Mavic clone, because clone means something that does the same thing because it's cloned. This we can at least call it a look-alike, but that's more than enough. So this quadcopter comes with only 2 spare propellers. It has propeller guards, weird looking micro USB to USB charger, and this looks like the thumb screws on the transmitter, and the transmitter doesn't have them installed, probably because it's better for the transport to be that way. It comes with a LiPo battery, 1 cell, 900 milliamps. That should be plenty sufficient for the size of this quadcopter. The estimated flight time is around 10 minutes. The transmitter is very basic. It has a stick-on LCD here, a fake LCD. It has the switches and trimming buttons, and it has top buttons here, and those are fake. It also comes with a support pre-installed. This is for a mobile device, because this quadcopter, besides having a camera, it also has Wi-Fi FPV, and this is the phone holder. This will screw on top of the transmitter, just like that, and you will have FPV. What is nice at this quadcopter is the fact that the quadcopter still has normal control from the transmitter, which I like, and you won't use a stupid app, which is sometimes awkward to control a quadcopter. The manual is in Chinese and English. It's written 2 times, English, Chinese, English, Chinese, but it's horrendous. It's just try to read a sentence here if you have the patience. I tell you, you are not going to understand anything from it, but at least it has some pictures and you will learn something from it. You also get this leaflet, which is in Chinese and English. It provides the download link for the application, which is free on Android Market, Google Play or whatever. It also has an app for iOS and 3060, whatever that means. Right, let's move on to the quadcopter. There's the camera. What is nice is the fact that it's tiltable, and that is very desired, and the arms fold like that, and you get the quadcopter. It's very light. It's just like a hollow plastic case, and you can see there is a lot of space in there. Sadly, the battery is just a tiny part. They could have used 2 batteries in this, but it would probably be too heavy. It has a basic on-off switch. It shows that we should insert a micro SD card inside here, but don't do that. No, don't do that, because there is no micro SD slot inside, and if you are going to insert a micro SD card, it will go somewhere inside and rattle, and you will not be able to take it out unless you take the whole quadcopter apart. So don't install a micro SD card. The recording is done through the app directly on your mobile phone. So the battery slides in just like that. And now I'm going to install the app. The app is called TIANQU FPV, and now I'm going to power on the quadcopter from this switch here. It has a lot of LED lights, including where the sensors are on the Mavic, and I'm going to search for its wireless address name, and there it is, Wi-Fi FPV something. It connects without a password, And now if I open the app, I should have image, and if I press start, there you go, it has image. Of course it has some breakup, but the delay is not that horrible. Usually this kind of quadcopters with wireless FPV has a horrendous lag, and it's something like you turn the quadcopter 90 degrees or 100 degrees and the image it's still the last image that it had, and you can turn it back and then it will actually change on the mobile screen. No, this is decent. It doesn't have a lot of lag. As you can see, it's minimal, and I like this fact. And the image doesn't look very bad for such a cheap quadcopter. Actually, I'm impressed, and it's rather fluid. It's not choppy at all, and it's a big thumbs up for that. Of course, you can start recording just by pressing a button here, and you have this timer there, and it records to your mobile phone internal memory. So don't use an SD card. I'm repeating myself. You can also take pictures. It has a gallery. You can access the recorded files directly through the app, but you will find them in your phone gallery as well. It has selectable rates here, the speed at which the quadcopter can fly. It has this gear thing here that doesn't do anything. It has VR. If you use goggles, you can have a kind of 3D, something like that. This is gyro operation. You can control the drone by tilting your mobile phone, and this will reverse the image in case there is another kind of drone that uses the same camera and the same app and the camera is rotated. You can use that to rotate the image. And this lock button here, you can actually arm or disarm and control the quadcopter from your mobile phone if you want to. If you press this one, it will remain in just in FPV mode, and you can control it with the transmitter. So it's very nice. You can actually select which mode you want to fly from mobile phone or from the transmitter. And going back to the control from the mobile phone, it has a pattern design here. You can draw an image on the screen and the drone will fly like that, but it doesn't have GPS, it doesn't have a gyro, it doesn't have any kind of sensor, so it's only an approximation of I should fly that way and I should fly that way, and it will probably crash into a tree. It also has a 360 turn. It will do a circle. It has a headless mode. It has a so-called return to home with a GPS logo on it that actually will try to rotate the drone the opposite way that it flies. So in case it's very far away and you cannot observe its heading, sometimes pressing that button it will try to rotate it and accelerate towards you. That is what it tries, but usually it never does that. It also has auto launch and auto land options and an emergency stop in case something go bad. Another nice feature of this quadcopter is how you can install the prop guards in case if you want to use them. I never use prop guards and I don't recommend them outdoor. If you are indoor, you can use them because hitting a wall, it will stop the propeller, it can burn the motor and it will crash the drone. With this indoor, you may have a chance for the drone to recover, to bump away, but outside this only work as a sail, and if there is a wind, it will increase the drag of your drone, decrease the speed, decrease the flight time, so I don't recommend them. But I like the fact that they are clip-on, very easy to install. You don't need to remove the engine screws and take cover out or something like that. It has an included clip. You just clip them, and in case if you are not using them, you can put this cap back so dirt doesn't enter in the motor. But the motor has the gears exposed here, so there's not a lot of usage for this cap. It's mostly for design. So I'm going to fold this back on. I'm going to charge this battery and let's go outside to take it for a flight and see how this performs. And I have teleported to the local flying field with the Mavic lookalike. I'm going to stop to call it that way. It's not even a lookalike. And we are going to see how this thing flies. I want to tell you that it's very cold. It's a few degrees under zero, so cold for flying little batteries, but I've kept it in my pocket, so hopefully we'll get a few minutes of decent flight time. So battery is inserted. I'm going to power it on. I'm going to let it stay on the snow and ice mix that we have here, and I'm going to power on the transmitter and bind the drone by going up and down, and that is okay. And now I'm also going to turn on the mobile phone, connect to the wireless, and it has connected already. I'm going to launch the app, start, and I have FPV footage already, no drama there, working just fine. So I'm gonna fit the phone in the holder, hopefully it will stay there. I'm going to make sure that the screws are tight enough, and let's start video recording. It's doing video recording. I'm going to switch to 60% rates, hopefully it will be fine. And to arm the motors, you just push the throttle up, hold it there, and it will arm. To disarm, you keep it down. The quad of course has altitude hold, and I can say from the start that I'm impressed. It's very stable. I didn't thought that it will be such a smooth flyer, and it can also get some decent speed. I just have to be sure not to hit any kind of branches. Well, not that it will be a big of a trouble to hit a branch, but oh, there it goes. Almost hit that branch. Well, I'm really impressed. This thing is silent, it's not noisy as hell, as most toys are, and it has a very predictable heading and very good stability. Also, the altitude hold seems to work fine. It will drop a bit of altitude when you go very fast, but as soon as you release the throttle and the stop, it will just get back to the preset altitude, and that's very good. Also, if you take very fast yaw turns, as I am doing here, this is maximum on 60%. Let me try to put it on 100%. I don't think it actually does something, because I have disabled the app control, so probably only video recording works from the mobile phone. The yaw rate is not crazy, but it's precise, and you will see that it has a very tiny drop in altitude when it starts yawing, but then it compensates, which is a good thing. It goes a bit to one side because there is a bit of an air current here, but it's not a big issue, so it does go nicely. Also, I did a bit of trimming, hopefully it's even more smoother now, but that's the wind that's taking it. As you can see, it has intensified a bit, but not an issue. Still a very nice flyer, and it can do a bit of speed. I'm going to try now to use the top button here, and that is the auto flip option, and it's very nice programmed because it first takes a bit of altitude and then executes the auto flip. So if you are too close to the ground, it's rather forgiving, and it will not crash into the ground while it does that flip. Look at that. So, and then it goes back to the preset altitude. Very nice programming. And this button here, I think that this button here, it's actually the rates. Yes, I have found the rates button, and look at that. This thing can go very fast. Wow, impressive. But if you go that fast, it will start losing some of the altitude and you have to compensate. But it will not go that low to crash on the ground. And as soon as you release the throttle, I'm calling throttle the advancing, the pitch actually, it will just restore to the preset altitude. I'm going to let it closer to me because there is someone coming. We don't want to cause any problems. The camera on the phone also looks rather decent. Hopefully the footage will actually look even better when it's downloaded to the PC. And I'm already recording for more than 5 minutes and this thing is still flying. I'm probably going to fly it until the battery depletes, so we are going to have also a flight time. I have switched it to intermediate mode. Now it's not on the lowest rate but not on the highest, and this rate is pretty fast. It flies nice. It's a combination of good maneuverability and decent speed. The high rates are definitely fast, while the low rates are low enough to be just fine for a beginner. And this quad does exceptionally well, so you can pilot it fast or just go slow and learn to fly, while the altitude holds will let's say train you, but it's not very good to learn to fly quadcopters with altitude hold because you are going to get lazy. And if you want to practice on some more advanced quadcopters or want to start racing, holding the altitude, it will be troublesome at the beginning. So it started to flash rapidly, so that means that probably the battery is on its way out. I wonder if it will just drop out of the sky or will do an auto landing. So I'm just going to keep it close to the ground. Hopefully it will not crash the video file that I'm recording. So I'm going to stop that now. So that is now saved, although it's saved on my mobile phone, but I'm just stop the recording. And it's still flying, flashing and flying. Being so cold, it's probably normal to get a low voltage alert early because of the voltage drop that LiPo batteries exhibit in such kind of weather. So this is still flying happily. So I'm going to keep doing some passes around. Let me try to take also some pictures. Yay! Hello there. As you can see, very smooth flyer. and it's auto landing, and that was it. Auto landed and stopped the motors while the camera still works, which is very nice because you can save the video file and you still have control to do settings or check other things. So very nice. It did land and it waited for it to settle, then turned off the motors. So there you go. I'm actually impressed about this little guy. Definitely better than I was expecting, because when you take it the first time in your hands it looks like a plastic shell with nothing inside, but actually it's a very decent flyer. It's fast enough, it's stable, so I definitely recommend this. Until now I did have one single issue with it, and that is the charger, the battery charger. It took something like 12 hours to charge the battery, so definitely my charger is bad, and to fix that won't be a very big issue, and I'm going to show you why. The battery has a micro USB port here for charging, but you should not connect this to a USB charger because it only takes the voltage of the battery. USB has 5 volts and the battery has 4.2 volts when it's fully charged. So if you connect this to a USB charger, it will blow up, it will catch fire. But you can take an old USB cable, cut it, add a JST plug or add XT60 plug, and you can charge this with your hobby grade charger, and that will work just fine. So the only con until now was the faulty battery charger, but the quad is really nice. The app works fine, there's no bad delay on it, the controls work nice, so I really like this. So it gets into my top list of let's call it toy grade quadcopters. So this was the flight test and full review. I hope that you have enjoyed this video, and be sure to follow my next uploads. Until then, bye bye.